leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink, I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one, I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the blockchain.
Now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gonna stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Pudgy.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Freaking the mood to choose one, but they got knowledge to move, son. I'm shocking in shades with my brother in suits. Yeah, them blues is coming. Even though it's hard to pick, eeny, mighty, mo, soda on the mix, no biting lips, it's time to go. Index number 1, no thumbs up, you gotta scroll. Looking at the ghost in studio, it's time to go. Had a helmet on by myself until I met a mask that wanted to have a face off. Had to bring my chainsaw, full tank of gas in the ride with my brakes off. I'm A1, but a different kind of steak sauce.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin, where we dive into all things crypto, NFTs, Web3, and cutting-edge technology. Remember, nothing here is financial advice. Early-stage tech can be exceptionally volatile and risky. So grab your coffee and join Cap and Steve for today's conversation.
Welcome to the future.
Welcome to Coffee with Captain GM. Thanks so much for joining us. If you haven't done so, do us a favor, drop us a GM in the chat down below, then head up top, smash that like, repost, and bookmark on today's space. We greatly appreciate it. It warms up the algo and does us a real solid. You'll also find linked up there the abstract chat as well as YouTube chat. I just saw my abstract for XP day yesterday. I saw when I logged in, I got about 3,500 XP, which is about half. I'd been running like 7,000 to 8,000 on average, and yet still that's in the top 1%. Not great. If I'm not doing anything on abstract other than streaming a few days a week. Let me double check. Like maybe $500 worth of Pingu over there. It's not even enough to get the it's not even. I should double my stack to get at least to the 88,000 for that boost. But yeah, I've got like 40,000 Pingu, and that's about it. A few NFTs that I'm sure are in there. My abstract wallet's saying $2.16 worth of NFTs. $500 worth of Pingu. I thought this would be Art Basel would be an abstract moment, but I don't think it's going to be due to I thought sorry, that came unmuted due to market conditions. Teacher Katie, you're just now seeing yourself in the intro video. GG, you're a star. Yeah. Anyways, as always, I'm Cap. Co-host list from now. I need to come up with a new open. I mean, need to retrain my brain on how to open this thing up. Stands Steve, but as always, never any financial advice in the show. Crypto is risky, NFTs are risky, meme coins except risky. It all can go to zero to moment stones. Please don't put any money you can't afford to lose. Know that I'll hold tokens from time to time. I'll talk here on the show, and I am not a financial advisor. However, I hope you all followed my financial advice yesterday and full ported your 401ks into Bitcoin at 86K. I know it ran up. I know by the time people heard the playback, I'm talking to you. By the time you heard the recording, it seemed like I was became a bull just because Bitcoin had ripped 6% of the day. I was not aware that was happening. If you go back and listen to the tape, I specifically mentioned 86K. I thought my widgets are lagging. I still think we're at 86K. My sentiment changed overnight. I shared a few specific examples, and I said I'm not calling bottom. I'm calling bottom. Bottom was in yesterday, and there's just too much loading in crypto's favor that we don't have another run in us. And I say all this. I made $0 on my call yesterday. Made $0 on my conviction. I mean, bags are up, but I actually did. As soon as the show ended, I went to Vanguard. I couldn't find IBIT. I didn't spend a lot of time. I spent like maybe 5 minutes, and I thought it would just be click a few buttons and change my allocation. And it just wasn't that easy. So I need to go back, spend some time, maybe reach out to them to figure out how to get it done. But cost.
Cap, I came up because I don't know if I was the only one, but I lost you there before I came up.
Oh, really?
So I don't know if maybe I could be the only one, but I wasn't sure. So I just wanted to come up and let you know there was like a minute of that rant in the beginning when I didn't hear anything you said.
Interesting. Dobbins, you're always quick with the emojis. Can you hear me? Give me 100 if you can hear me okay, if audio is coming through loud and clear. I'm taking it you're good on the stage, Joe. You can hear me. Audio is fine up here.
Yeah, it was like when you did your whole this is never financial advice, whatever. And then you started to talk about full porting. You disappeared for like 30 seconds to a minute, but then you came back. So I don't know if maybe like a cord got loose or something, but I wasn't sure. So I wanted to come up and tell you. And maybe it was just me.
I appreciate the heads up. Let's see. Dobbin should get the lag should be out. So I see Jambert's give me the 100. So I take it you all can hear me just fine. No audio issues. I don't. No sound on space, huh? Spaces went quiet. You weren't the only one.
Okay, cool. So it wasn't. Yeah, it wasn't that long. I would say maybe 30 seconds to a minute, maybe. But it was just. And then all of a sudden you came back. So I don't know. Could have just been a spaces glitch.
There is an X update. Fuck. Sorry for cursing. I hate this. I don't like. So try again now, Joey. Say something. Can Andrew and Diablito?
Check. Hello, check. Good morning, GM.
I'm checking audio. Spaces now. Can you hear Joey? There's two audio inputs on StreamYard. They both work. I just flip-flopped them. One allows me to talk over guests. The other one doesn't allow me to talk over guests. Doesn't really matter. I really just want sound to come through. I just need some confirmation the audio is back. You can hear us now in Spaces. Okay.
Hello, check. GM.
Jambert's coming up to help us out as well. See, Jambert GM is audio back. Can you hear us okay? Maybe not. Okay, we're good, I guess. There was an X update, apparently. Sometimes that will, if we're on different versions of X, I'm going to go check. Right. I'm kind of afraid to do this. I don't want it to start auto updating and force close Spaces, but I will go see if I'm on the most recent version, and we will. Yeah, it looks like I'm on the most recent iteration. So maybe if people are on old versions of X, you might have some issues, but I think we're good. I'll just leave it on the current inputs. And if we lose audio at any point, I appreciate y'all letting me know. It is a big help in the chat. That way I don't talk for 15 minutes and realize it was dead silent. So seemingly we're back though. If you missed it, I gave you all financial advice yesterday. I hope you all took it and full ported your 401ks into Bitcoin at 86K. Space is gone again. MFer. I don't know what to say. Everything looks good on my end. Everything's connected right. Jambert, can you hear me? Jambert, do me a favor. Can you go back down as a listener and then give me the same? Let me know if you can hear me as a listener.
He shows as a listener on me, so clearly X is bugging.
Ugh. I mean, it's I'm trying to see if there's anything different that might be throwing it off, but I have a feeling it's just going to be a spaces issue this morning. Jambert, can you now? I don't even see Jambert out of there now. I guess
Sovereign Ape is giving thumbs up, so I'm assuming he can hear you and us.
Riss says he can hear through the live stream on X. I guess here's the deal. If we cut out on X, it seemingly we are good on. So DW just said he updated his and can hear on Spaces. Can hear us now. I have a feeling if you're on the old version of X, maybe leave the space, force close the app, download the new X update, and then come back. Or alternatively, you can click up top, go to YouTube, go to Abstract, or the X audio spaces. All three of those are linked up top, and you should be able to hear us. Frustrating. Dobbin said he had to close X fully, and now I can hear me. So yeah, it's definitely an X issue again. And also, anytime we have X issues, it also just nerfs discoverability. It says audio clipping in and out every 15 to 15 seconds. Happening for Joey too. Audio is messed up for you also. So X is awful today. Man. Can't hear through spaces. Sorry, everyone. I normally can troubleshoot through this stuff, but Remy says first 10 minutes was bad, but coming through clear now. My only troubleshooting, I've got a few things. One, force close the app, double check your updates, come back and join us, see if that fixes it, or simply go over to one of the video feeds. YouTube experience is always solid, says Diablito. Abstract's also live up there. Go get yourself some of that XP that seemingly the farmers have left, and little effort can get you some XP. Top 1%. And now my X locked up. Great, it's back. Okay. Just thinking through this. Here's what I'm going to do. One thing for those of you that are going to a different platform, whether it be YouTube or Abstract, do me a favor before you give up on Spaces. Try to download the new app, see if that fixes it. The other thing I would ask all of you to do is go hit this reminder link for tomorrow, Thursday's show. I'm going to pin up top. One of my favorite things to do. Yeah, I'm not muted. Mel, but X is just bugging. X is bugging. It's going to give us issues seemingly all morning. I don't know. Nope. Try leaving X and checking for an update, or join YouTube or Abstract. So frustrating. Yeah, it's we're dying a slow death here this morning on X. I would reset the space. Let's do that. I'm going to do this. I'm going to reset on my end. I'm going to fully close X. I'll fire up a brand new space. Do me a favor, jump in that one. Also, if you're still here, go hit the link for tomorrow's space. Roham, I fired a shot. Roham's going to be joining us. I don't know if anyone can hear this.
Before you close the space, why don't you set a space to start at 8:16?
Can't do that.
And
can't do
pin it up top.
It doesn't let you create a.
Oh, that's right. You can't create one when you're in one. That's right. Never mind.
I got to close this down first. So yeah, I'm gonna shut this down. We'll be right back. Brand new space. We'll fly through the. We'll fly through the opening, and we'll jump right into things. But yeah, I apologize. Nothing I can do about it other than attempt to fire up a new one. So X is broken. We'll be right back. If you're hearing this, stay tuned. I'll fire up a brand new space in 30 seconds. I got to let it lag for 10 seconds to make sure everyone who can hear actually heard that, and then I'll shut it down.
Better leave it to the professionals.
Blessed by Bundy, blah, blah, blah.
Started off with a bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
Surfing on the web and I'm shooting at 3. I've been goated when I got my G. I'm an alien boy from a different planet, yeah. So I got my drink. I'm riding in the 1920s Model T Ford. Call her Era Lord. Call me Levi, playing on the keys, boy. And I'm about to put my gloves on. If I said it, then I meant that. Yeah, I like that one. I'm about to get that. Crash that whip for the drumsticks, whiplash. I'm about to get them all. Are you with that? In a white boat, surrounded by blue. I want one, but I got a cop too. I wanna fly high in the sky, arms out wide, trying to soar from a bird's eye view. I'm on fire, Ricky, Bobby, cracking the pavement, Whitney, Bobby. I'm a Saki bomb, Hiroshima, Nagasaki. Bruce Wayne been a dog, and I keep it 101, cause I'm feeling kinda spotty. You sipping on some rock, and I'm sipping on octane. The only thing around my neck is the
Started off with a
blockchain.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3. And it is what it seems, topping the pyramid schemes, I'm telling you. I'll sell you a percentage on Nebula. Shout out to Vince, he'll set it up.
NFT, Twitter, blockchain. Seeing with the ghosts and we ballin' like LeBron James. Crypto. We can make a trade, get the memo. Refuse not falling for the FOMO. Listening to Coffee with Captain. You know we worldwide, they loco. I ain't never gon' stop rapping. Orlando, yeah, we working magic. We rocking Ethereum NFTs. I just went and caught me a half base. Man, I got a shout out
Started
to
off with a
Pudgy.
bit, now I got coin. I see where y'all going. Been poppin' since Web 1, hella hoes on Web 2. I was living a dream, now I'm on Web 3.
I saw the sad face or the crying from Dobbins. Quick audio check. Are we, is it working now or no? No, fuck. Check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Check. 1, 2. Appreciate all the support, all the double GMs. I thought Dort had a Beeple for a second. I'm curious who did the caricature. I love it. Reminded me of my my Beeple. I don't know if anyone can hear me. I guess let me get someone up here to do a quick audio check, and then we will figure this thing out. Apparently, it's bad for all right now. Law the Sol was saying audio is cutting in and out all day yesterday. Oh, we can hear. Mel says she can hear, so hopefully it doesn't cut in and out. I'm going to double check. If you can come up, I just want to confirm, and we'll get rolling. It may be buggy throughout the day. So while I love all of our X Spaces supporters, and it may impact our ability to have a conversational show this morning.
Hey, Cap. I
Hey.
went out and came back in, and I could hear you on Spaces this time.
No cut. Is it cutting in and out at all or no?
It hasn't, but you've only said a few things. So
Okay, awesome. Well, we're going to take that as a good sign. Alternatives are linked up top as well. The X video is still live. The X audio space is all the way to the right there. And YouTube and Abstracts should be working as well. Oxy's getting kicked off Spaces. Man, yeah. So I think here's the deal. Do me a favor. Go hit the like repost on the Spaces link. It's all the way to the right. But probably going to have the best experience on YouTube or Abstract this morning or the X video feed. Yeah, it's been spotty since last night. Hearing this from several reports now that audio has just been cutting in and out across the board. So it's not a my X issue. It's not a me issue. It's not a you issue. It is today really an X issue. Yeah, we'll power through this. Hit up. Thankfully, we have other platforms that can keep the show moving. And today that'll be YouTube and Abstract. Go get your XP in both platforms. Still no idea what YouTube XP does. It's provocative. Nobody knows. No sound on YouTube. Oh. I just switched mic again, just seeing like basically I'm doing the equivalent of unplugging and plugging back in. How about Hizzy says he can hear on YouTube. Dort says he can hear on YouTube. Osiris, can you hear us on YouTube now? I know this is not great content. I apologize to everyone catching the playback. We just got to power through this. It makes for a better show if we're able to converse. So we'll do this. We're going to assume X will be glitchy and buggy throughout the day. Hopefully they get their stuff figured out by tomorrow because we do have a special guest. I was saying, so here's what we'll do. Even if you're going to listen on YouTube or Abstract, awesome. No issues. Listen wherever you enjoy the show the most. If you would do me a favor and at least scroll over to X momentarily. It may be cool if you hang out in the space just to help with discoverability. Keep that. I guess you wouldn't have to mute it if we're not coming through anyways. But the one thing I wanted to call attention to on the space is the link for tomorrow's show. Got the quote tweet from Roham after shooting a shot. They had a big announcement, which we're going to talk about here in a sec. Probably hold great detail until tomorrow, since seemingly the Roham and the team is going to join us. But big announcement. I will. You can click through. You'll see the original post from Roham, which he quote tweeted a post from the Flow blockchain account. I said, "This sounds like a big deal. Congrats to you and the team. Would love to have you on our morning show to discuss. Any day you can make it, 9 a.m. Eastern work." And he quote tweeted that and said, "This is the biggest deal I've ever done. Let's do it Thursday." So tomorrow will be joining us. Hopefully X is cooperating a little better. X Spaces, I should say. But yeah, would love to have a full house here. I genuinely, I'm not just saying this, he's coming on the show. Like, I think it's incredible moves from Flow. Teacher Katie, thank you for the tip. Greatly appreciated. No audio issues over there in Abstract. Every time there's an X update, it does screw with audio. I agree. You see me seemingly now, even if people on the same version, it's cutting in and out. Dwayne, appreciate that big Pingu tip over there. You guys are going to get me to 88,000 Pingu again if you guys keep this up. Greatly appreciated. Yeah, X is just on the fritz. We're gonna move on. It's not a, I don't believe it's any sort of technical issue that we can troubleshoot or fix this morning. It's just X being finicky. So that said, still appreciate y'all being here. Best place to listen to the show today is going to be a YouTube or Abstract. And for everyone, I mean, Payne, probably just cut this out when you do probably just start from this point on the replay. 24 minutes into the YouTube stream, and I think we started. It doesn't matter when we started the Spaces up. I just cut out the first 24 minutes. As I was saying, Crocs, I didn't flip bullish after the run up yesterday. I was confused on Monday. Monday night, I started thinking a lot. I saw a few bullish takes, which I shared yesterday. Not going to go back and relitigate those, but on the show, in my head, Bitcoin was still 86K. All I was looking at was a widget on my phone. I saw the Vanguard news, some other news. Again, we hit on all the high level macro type tailwinds yesterday, and I said I think we're going to look back in a few years, and the opportunity to buy Bitcoin in the 80Ks is we're going to view that similar to how we viewed buying Bitcoin at 16 to 20K last cycle. Just way too much happening. It's a laundry list of tailwinds, and there's not, other than the cycle's over, we're in a bear market. I haven't heard like one. Quantum computing is the other FUD, or the other. It's bearish because quantum computing could nerf Bitcoin. Maybe that's just so far out in the future. I don't. It's not a short-term concern, and I did. Yeah, DL Bleach was on one lately this week in the chat. Based on his X experience, I'm not volunteering to go to Mars on one of Elon's early rockets. Probably wise. And yes, thank goodness for multi-platform streaming. We used to, believe it or not, before, if you're new here, before we went streaming on video, there was a few times where X Spaces just was on the fritz, similar to today, but it was even like, wouldn't even work at all. Once or twice. And we kept the streak alive. We went live every weekday morning for today's 1,044 consecutive weekdays, including holidays. And a couple times we had to do a Discord voice chat show pre-streaming on YouTube and Abstract. So grateful for alternate streaming platforms today. Still appreciate all of you tuning in and helping prop up a Spaces that is broken. But as I said, the one call to action, if you could hit the reminder for tomorrow's space, looking for we've had Roham in the past, but it's been years. And I'm not just saying this because he's coming on tomorrow. I genuinely am excited about the big flow changes. I'll maybe fly over the announcement here today. We'll hit on that, but I'm going to avoid going into a deep dive and sharing too much of my thoughts because I don't want to be repetitive tomorrow. Jamber says, crazy there's more people on YouTube than on Abstract. That's a problem for, in his opinion, for Abstract. Yeah, it's not great. I don't care where you watch the show, but and yeah, YouTube is the main platform for streaming. Maybe is it? I don't know. Like I'm asking the genuine question. I know it's big. It's the main platform for videos. I don't know if it outkicks Kick, pun intended, or Twitch or quote unquote streaming. But when you're talking a space that is likes farming and incentives, there's an active TGE farm, or there's an active farm on pre-TGE farm on Abstract, not so much on YouTube, even though they're giving you out XP over there. So yeah, it's cutting in and out. YouTube Abstract, that's your best option this morning. Appreciate y'all powering through that with us. Apologies for the inconvenience. Half-hour cold open of nonsense of attempting to get through X technical challenges. But here we are. The stream is messing up as well. Man, it's so frustrating. Abstract stream can be glitchy, needs a refresh now and then. YouTube always good. I'm hearing YouTube good. So maybe Andrew, check out YouTube and see if that works for you. That is pinned up top. Or you can just search Coffee with Captain on YouTube. You should find us over there. I'm just going to get going. I don't want to keep battling through issues. I'm going to jump right in. Let's start here. Let's start with flow. I'll hit on the announcement. By the way, if you missed it, my notes filled up. It is a big day. Big day. I'm going to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 things already on my list at least cover. And now I only have 90 minutes to do so thanks to X. Here, I'm just going to rattle them all off and then we'll circle back to flow. Some of these might be just quick flyovers. Others will go deeper. We've got the Fusaka upgrade today. Ethereum upgrades, their largest upgrade since the merge. Pretty big deal. Very few people talking about it. The one nugget I saw was this unlocks up to 1,000 TPS for L2s. That's kind of insane. And I'm curious. I wonder if that has any impact for the performant blockchains like Mega ETH, for instance, that is one of their claim to fame is 1,000 TPS or 100,000 TPS. We also had the big flow news. We'll talk about that in a second. We had Rekt and Superior Beverage Group. Rekt partnering with a massive distributor. SPG is huge. That's a really big deal. Moonbirds blind box reveals. I'm going to give some critique on that one, at least on their partner. This is not a BZ sponsored space, but I'm just going to say it. They should have worked with BZ on this one. Invest America, not necessarily crypto per se, maybe, but I think a really big deal investing in the kids in the US. If you missed it, every kid born from January 1st of this year through I think January 1st of 2028 will get $1,000 in a savings account that'll accrue interest until they are. I think it's going to be actually an investment account. I'll pull up the details here in a bit. In addition to that, OneDell, Michael Dell, and his wife came over the top, and they're going to give $250 per kid that didn't qualify from ages basically 3 to 10. Don't hold me to these details. I know there's some potential eligibility for kids over 10, but long story short, I think it's incredible. It's incredible. We talk about STEMIs. I don't get a STEMI check. I haven't got a STEMI check. I'm not like complaining. I'm grateful that I don't. I'm grateful for that. But so I say this like kind of tongue in cheek. I'm not trying to take any money out of anyone's pockets. But if there was talk of another $2,000 tariff STEMI, my vote would be pass on that, because I do believe a lot of that money is just going to go straight into the casinos. I shared this before. I don't think the people who qualify for the STEMI checks are going to use that on their groceries and life expenses. A lot of those people, this is not a political take. This is just the reality based on my understanding and people I've talked to. A lot of people that will qualify for that STEMI check, they're already getting free groceries. They're already getting assistance. And I don't know the exact math, but there was a viral post recently that someone was basically like a nanny or a housekeeper, and they were getting paid under the table, and the wealthy family that was employing them wanted to bring it above board and pay them properly and send them a 1099, or maybe they hired him as a W-2 employee. I don't know, but also add benefits and everything. And long story short, the net result was they had to go from paying them like $30K to over $80,000 a year just to offset all the benefits they were getting. And I think it's very real. I think there's a lot of people who are going to qualify for a $2,000 STEMI that their basic needs are covered for by government programs, and therefore they're going to take their $2,000 isn't going to change their life. They don't need it for their groceries or their food per se. And I think a lot of them are going to head right to the casino or their casino of choice and try to turn 20K or 2K into 20K, which may be life changing for some of them. And I know certainly there are some people, but the reality is that I do think the wealth gap is widening. And I also think that it's not so much that those that are on the lower end of the wealth range or income range are doing worse. I think most of them are doing just about the same. Potentially, they've been going up in line with inflation stuff since pandemic. Whereas the people who are really feeling the squeeze are those that are making probably 70, 80K, 100K a year, and they're not getting any support, not getting any subsidies, and yet their inflation is vastly outpacing their income. This is, I'm just speculating, but I do think that there is, long story short, I'm in my rant, get back to the updates and we'll dive into flow. My vote would be, if I had one, and I would actually vote for something like this, is don't give a $2,000 tariff STEMI to adults who are just a lot of them are going to take it to the casino of choice, sportsbook or prediction markets or lottery tickets, crypto. Give it to kids. Lock it in a trust like that. This is no exaggeration. I truly believe it would be one of the biggest ways to decrease the wealth gap is invest in our kids. Invest in the younger generation, set them up for success. I have no doubt in my mind that we're going to like this Invest America program, this OneDell program. We will see we'll see at least one 18 to 25-year-old that's going to take their Invest America funds, and that's going to be the seed funding for their business that ends up becoming a startup unicorn, like a Dell Computers, like a Mr. Beast. It's just like, I don't know if there's anything that you could directly impact a younger generation than setting them up for. And while we could say, we could all be setting up 529 college saving plans and investment accounts for our kids. The reality is most people don't. Even people that have the ability and the wherewithal to do so, a lot of those people don't. And I think forcing something like this, I think, is a big win for society at large. Even if you don't have younger kids, I think everyone should be. I don't have any kids that qualify for any of these programs. I'm rooting for it. I hope we see more of this stuff. And when you talk about billionaires are evil, and I beg to differ. I know not everyone, I'm sure there's some evil billionaires, but this is absolutely going to change some kids' lives that are aged 3 to 10, and it may be years to see this pull through, but that piece doesn't happen without a billionaire philanthropist. So I'm going to end my rant there. I'm really excited about this program. It's great to see. It's unrelated to crypto in the short term, although I would love to see 1 to 5% of that those investment accounts be in Bitcoin. But that's another story for the day. We'll get to Joey and Mel and then Oxy here in a minute. Hopefully, audio will come through okay on the video side. The other news items I had today: Paul Atkins was on Squawk Box. That was another bullish indicator for the market. Jack Butcher mints. I'm not the biggest Jack Butcher fan due to just a lot of supply primarily, but I love this new mint. We'll hit on that. It's a live mint at Art Basel. I'm going to be minting one at least. We had a big Pudgy announcement with NHL that I think as a space, we've become so accustomed to these big collaborations and partnerships that sometimes we don't give them as much attention as they deserve. We also have the Fog mint that is active as we speak. So first topic after we get through hands here, we will get into flow. Really excited about it. And I kid you not, I was talking to Steve this morning, and I've mentioned here a few times, like potentially looking at some new home bases per se in 2026. One of them is going to be Mega ETH. And just jumped right into the top of the list is Flow overnight. Like what they're doing, I think is massive, and especially with their plans to invest in the community. And basically they spun it as almost like a pre-ICO without being an ICO. Like I think there's going to be real opportunity to be an active participant in that ecosystem. And again, more on that soon, but let's do this. Let's go Joey, Mel, and then we'll bring in Oxy and then Machiavelli if you want to get in on this too, just give me a hand. But Joey, go ahead. Take it wherever you'd like.
Yeah, I don't know if you're going to hit on the Moonbirds redemption thing, but maybe I shouldn't, but I have some feedback on that. But on the stimmy check thing,
yeah, let's do this.
I think
let me do this just because you hit on both these topics and then hand it to Mel. And that'll give me a quick opportunity to refill the coffee and knock out a bubble stream drop, and I should be good for the rest of the show. So yeah, I do want to hear your, and so start with the stimmy checks, then hit on the platform that Moonbirds tapped. I would like to come up for top of it and kind of give you some support, so it doesn't seem like you're shilling, your own protocol or the protocol you work with. But yeah, do that. Go in that order if you don't mind. Hit on the stimmy checks and then the Moonbirds thing, and then I'll be right back.
Yeah. So I kind of agree with you, Cap, here on the stimmy check thing. And like, if we go back to COVID and we look at like the PPP loans and we look at the SBA, like all these loans that were available for individuals and businesses, I mean, the fraud was rampant, right? Like, I mean, we only heard of the really big cases of people, taking millions of dollars and buying Bugattis and whatever. But I would wager that some of the people that only took, 50, 100,000 in these loans, probably there's a good percentage that never used it for their business or for what it was meant for. And it's sad, right? Because there probably are people out there could benefit from it. And I'm not saying this $2,000 stimmy is the same, but what I'm saying is that like there's this mindset that we've seen in this country where instead of, somebody who get this $2,000, to your point, instead of using it to maybe pay their rent for a month or two to get ahead, right? Like it's this mindset of, no, I'm gonna, go to buy the new Jordans or the new iPhone, or I'm gonna do it. And you can't stop people. I'm not saying that like there needs to be a system in place to stop them. I'm just kind of agreeing with you that I think if the goal for this money is to help Americans get ahead and to be in a better position, I agree that maybe that it's, hey, listen, this 2,000, every family, every member of the family, or however they do it, right? Like if you have so many kids, you get bonuses and whatever. But to your point, that money does go towards, some type of college fund or trust or whatever, because I understand that the money is going to stimulate the economy, right? If I take my $2,000 and I go buy a new TV, right, that stimulates the economy. But I just think from what we've seen, and maybe I'm wrong, and I'm sure there's people that are going to dispute this in the audience, but from what we saw during COVID, people were not responsible with that money. Mel, did you want to jump in on this too?
Yeah, that's exactly the subject actually I wanted to talk about, because I've been on like both sides of the fence here, right? I've been in where I would have been able to accept this money, and now I'm in a position where I wouldn't have. The only concerns I have with this are there going to be any security risk? And what the fine print is going to be on some of this. Now, I'm really excited about it. I think it can really help children and in areas that wouldn't otherwise, have these opportunities, but security risk are really my biggest concern here.
And expand on what you mean by security risk.
Well, so it sounds like at birth, they're setting this up. So at birth, are they setting up a new system to kind of track everything and everyone and spending habits, etc.? I'd really have to wait to see them roll out the tech behind it. They
already track us, right? They give us a social security number that stays with us for the rest of our life to track everything we do.
Right, but that's not a bank account.
No, yeah, I hear what you're saying. So you're talking more in reference to the starting of the. You're talking about the reference of newborn, like children born after a certain date, getting that account set up for them. Not so much these $2,000 stimulus checks.
I'm more worried about the tech behind it than I would be. I mean, I think the checks are awesome. I think that like when you do donate to a cop and you see these, if you go to the store after Christmas, right, you will see the return areas full of toys that were bought through organizations that parents came back and got the cash for and stuff like that. I feel like this is a very well protected thing for these children in that sense. I would just worry about the tech.
No, that makes sense. I mean, depending on the type of individual you are, you either believe in or are against like so much government reach. And if you're an individual that is not a fan of, a lot of government reach, then obviously, to your point of allowing them to set up some type of financial account for your children and then reading the fine print on like, what does that mean for your children is something that would concern you. Is that accurate?
Absolutely. Though I think the idea is really cool.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, listen, all of my children were born outside of, I think, the cutoff date, but any more I have will be born after the cutoff date. So I'm all for it.
They're outside of the cutoff date for the Invest America, the government fund, but they're not outside of the cutoff date. I think all of them will qualify for this Michael Dell fund. The Dell one, okay. The OneDell, the OneDell. So OneDell.com/Invest America. They're putting up $6.25 billion to go to 25 million children. It's $250 each. They believe the smartest investment they can make is in children. That's why they're excited to contribute the $6.25 billion from their charitable funds to help 25 million start building a strong financial foundation through Invest America. Pretty incredible. And yeah, this is for, unless I'm mistaken, this is for, for children's ages 10 and under, expanding early access to investment accounts powered by Invest America. So this is going to, so the U.S. Treasury is contributing the $1,000 to Invest America account for every baby born on or after January 1st, 2025. This automatic $1,000 deposit by the federal government gives every American newborn a transformative head start. The investment accounts are simple, secure, and structured to grow in value through the market returns over time. At age 18, these young Americans will have a financial foundation for continued education, job training, home ownership, or future savings. It's a simple yet powerful idea. And what inspired them the most was a chance to expand on this to even more children. So through their charitable fund, they're contributing this $6.25 billion to see 25 million additional accounts with $250 each. These deposits will reach the accounts of most children aged 10 and under who were born prior to the qualifying date for the federal newborn contribution. So it won't be double dipping, but for kids that weren't eligible for or won't be eligible for the $1,000, if they're under 10, they'll be eligible here. But they also go on to say children older than 10 may benefit too if funds remain available after initial signups. So there is action you need to take.
So you can't do both.
I don't.
Is that what you're saying?
No, I don't believe you can do both.
If you qualify, so basically for any children born before January 1st, 2025, you're going to want to do the Michael Dell thing and take the $250.
Correct.
For any children born after January 1st, 2025, you're going to want to do the U.S. government one, which gives you $1,000 essentially.
Correct. Yep, you got it. I don't know so there'll definitely be action you need to take to sign up for the OneDell program. I don't know what action you need to take, if any, for the Invest America. But if you have kids under the age of 10, you should definitely check this out. It's not $250 or $1,000. You're, especially if they're a newborn, that $1,000 could grow substantially over the next 18 years. $250 could grow substantially over the next 10 to 15 years. Like,
my son said he wants his in Bitcoin.
Good. I don't know if you'll have the ability to change. Like, I don't know if it'll be like a 401k or like an investment account where you can actually choose what buckets or what funds you want to invest in. It may be automatically. I don't know, but any way they do it is better than not having it. And I think it's a big win. I think it's a big win for the future generations of the U.S. Poppy, I don't know. I saw you requesting up and then we lost you. If anyone is, I'm going to say this, no one's going to hear it anyways. Actually, you know what I can do? I just sent a post. Shout out to Husker.
Faces is definitely broken. There's 36 people here.
Yeah,
that never happens.
Yeah, no, it's broken hard. Shout out to Husker though, who sent out a post. I just quote tweeted that. Tag Elon and Nikita. I don't think they'll see it, but basically just trying to let everyone know who jumps in and sees a silent space. If you're not hearing everything, head up top, head over to YouTube, or head over to Abstract. Jim, what do you mean by this? First of all, before this, I respect the gambling. If you're going to gamble, go buy a Good Vibes Club with that stimmy.
I mean, they are one of the only collections that's actually up since the quote unquote Black Swan event.
Yeah. Yep. For those that want to blame markets, take a look at GBC out kicking the bleed out. Let's do this though. I do want to. There's a lot of news topics today. It's unfortunate we lost a half hour plus with the Spaces issues, but appreciate everyone powering through all that. And I'd like to do this. Let's move on to quickly on the Moonbirds reveal, because there was a couple Spaces is asked today. YouTube is where it's at. If you're not there yet, head over to YouTube, head over to Abstract, join us in one of those chats, and audio should be fine. Dort asked a question so I'm going to cue this off with Dort's question, Joey. Actually, Oxy, any comments or anything you want to get on the Invest America conversation before we move on?
No, I think you guys covered it well. I think you guys covered it well.
Dort asked, when I first redeemed BZ, I had to exchange emails with a team member and had to send the money for shipping in a separate transaction. Wasn't built on the site. Has this process changed? He's just going to say this was for the first set of Pudgy cards a while back for those boxes. Maybe it's more streamlined and trustless now. So not trying to put you on the spot, Joe. I'm also not asking you to bash a competitor, but I am kind of walk us through, give us your unfiltered, candid feedback on Collector Crypt, and then answer Dort's question if you don't mind.
Yeah, you read that really fast, so I didn't get to hear all of Dort's questions. So you have to read it again. So go ahead.
Basically, just when he first redeemed on BZ, he literally had to exchange emails with a team member, had to send them money for shipping in a separate transaction that wasn't built into the site. He's just asking, has that process changed? So maybe let's do this without bashing a competitor. Just we actually have a Telegram chat with Collector Crypt. They're great guys over there. Like what they've built and what they've done there. I have nothing bad to say about that team and the individuals behind it. They're they had a great launch with their cards token. I don't know where it's at now, but I don't have anything at all bad to say about them. That, strictly as a user, right? My feedback, and this was talked about in the war room, which was when you went to, part of the 9-step process for redeeming your Moonbirds collectibles was like you had to set up your profile with a username, a phone number, an email, a bio. Like it was this whole, and you couldn't get past, I got an error message 4 times because every time I would fill it out, I would forget something. And then it would I'd put in a username and a bio, but not the phone number. And then it would clear out the whole form again. And then
So, if the goal with this partnership, right, for Collector Grip was to get new people to use their platform, it wasn't, and this is conversations again, like that were being had in the war room. It was a big deterrent. Like, I don't know anybody in the war room at this point, based on the feedback, that was excited to keep using. And this is, again, not a knock or a bash. This is user feedback, right? Like, this is how you get better. We do this at BZ all the time. We constantly ask users for feedback on processes. And Dort's question's a great question, on the original redemption process that we had. And and then it was, so once you were able to finally get your profile filled out correctly, you then had to go to, and this got a little confusing too, is you had to click on your collection, and the Moonbirds stuff didn't fall under sealed product. It fell under merch. So it's like, if you weren't following the 9 steps perfectly, which you should, because that's why they wrote it, but like, you would think logically, oh, this is a sealed product. No, it's not. It's under merch. Then you had to click on merch, right? Then you had to go through the process of withdrawing it. And then what the withdrawal process was, then filling out more information after you'd already filled out information in your profile. And then I tried to pay with a credit card. It rejected it. It rejected 2 credit cards. Then I tried to pay with Google Pay. It rejected it. And then finally I said, you know what? I'm just going to transfer some USDC and pay with USDC. And it went through. And again, this is not because I want to bash them or FUD them. Like, this is genuine feedback on my experience as a user. If somebody else had a better experience, great. Like, let's hear like what you did differently. But I gave up last night and then came back to do it this morning. And then that's when I finally said, I'm just going to use USDC. I'll sell some Solana token I have that's worth $50 and use the $16 to redeem the 12 pack of items.
Yeah, it's a lot of friction. This is not, this has to get better. I just candid feedback. We talk about crypto evolving and the tech being obfuscated and frictionless this is a lot of friction. Like, show this to any Web 2 e-commerce, person, and they're going to tell you you're going to lose a lot of your customers. They're not going to get through this. Way too many clicks, way too many steps in the process. I appreciate the detailed steps. It's just a lot, and it is pretty clunky. I had some similar experiences. Went through, got hung up a couple times. This is what mine looks like. And the only thing I have on Collector Grip is one of the 12 packs. So it said, okay, I've got a card. It's valued my cards in my collection at $300. So I click view my cards. Again, if I didn't read the steps, total card value $300. All cards won, yet no matches found for your request. Huh, that's weird. So here it says all cards won, none match. I click sealed boxes, no card yet. There you go. Merch is where it's at. Okay, I guess. I'm not knocking. I am knocking, actually, but it been real critical, candid feedback. Like, this process has to get better. This is not built for scale. And what it made, like, my lived journey going through this yesterday, I said it in the war room. I haven't done it yet. I clearly haven't sold, but it was like, at this point, it was so, and I was reading the steps. I was going through, attempting to get it redeemed. Eventually I was like, you know what? I just want to sell the 12 pack. Where do I sell the 12 pack? I rather, versus this process, let me just sell it. So I probably just out. I don't know. Maybe I go through, and I also don't really want 12 physical collectibles. I did intend to probably sell most of them and maybe redeem 1 or 2. That's probably where I net on this, sell the 12 pack, maybe go buy a single and redeem it. But yeah, just was definitely not a seamless experience. This is a lot. So back to Dort's question, is BZ set up streamlined now? Like, if I want to do a redemption, is it a manual payment process? Can all that be done with a few clicks, whether it be on chain or with a credit card to pay for shipping and redeem, or do you still have to interact with?
Yeah, so it's much different now. So previously, as we were building out the tech, we had to prioritize what was important in the build out process of BZ. And at that point, redemptions were not the number one priority.
Makes sense.
So previously, the redemption process was you would select the items that you wanted to redeem, and then the support team would get notified. We'd send you an email. There'd be some email exchanges back and forth, etc. So now it's significantly more automated, where after you select the items you want to redeem, as long as you have your shipping info and your email address set up in your profile, which is really simple process, you'll get an email immediately from your redemption saying, hey, we know you want to redeem, et cetera, et cetera. Here's a payment link, submit payment. You submit payment. And then once payment is received, you send the items essentially that you want to redeem to like our burn wallet essentially, and then your stuff gets shipped. It's a really simple process. Are we looking, I would say, as someone as part of the team, we will get to a point to where it will continue to improve. That's our goal. That's why we actually just finalized a new user feedback form that's going to go public, where we can start tracking more user feedback. But yes, it is significantly better than what it was previously, and we're continuing to try to improve the process for individuals, because taking the human element out always makes it easier, because then there's no lag, right? There's no delay in waiting for somebody to respond to you.
Yeah, and as Jim brought out, it is a lot of steps, and the general population just isn't going to go through all that. Like, it's e-commerce people, Web2 people will tell you this. You got to reduce that friction. Less steps is more, less clicks is more. Otherwise you're going to lose people at checkout. And but it's early. It is that's why we're providing the feedback, and the details on that. I should have added. There's 12 common collectibles, 2 rares. So there is some potential to chase some grails in those blind boxes. I don't even know if have we seen an image of what's in the boxes yet, or no? Just like the teaser video with.
No, they haven't.
That's what I thought.
I will say though, I part of this process that did annoy me a little, and I don't know, I'm sure you might feel the same way, is I didn't know that when I was buying 12, it was going to be a 12 pack, that I couldn't split those 12 up, because I honestly don't want 12 Moonbirds collectibles. If I would have known that by buying 12, it meant that 12 couldn't be split, I would have bought 12 singles, so I could have maybe redeemed 6 of them, opened them, and then kept the other 6 on the platform to see what happens. If they become highly valued collectibles, I could sell them.
Yeah, that's fair.
I don't know.
I think that's fair. It's also like I don't take any issue with that. I intended to buy some singles to keep those and sell the 12 pack. I also, just on keeping it real, I bought the 12 pack because I think there's going to be Burb token allocation, and that's really what I was buying for. I don't really want the Moonbirds collectible, but I felt there was probably more than. I could very well be wrong here. Maybe it's $30, but I felt it would be more than $300 of Burb allocation for buying the 12 packs. So we'll see.
Yeah, I mean, unless I open up a rare one, they're probably all going to end up in the playroom, and the kids are going to end up playing with them.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
I don't know.
That's probably
spending $300 on toys for. Let's do this. Let's move on. High level flow overview. We are going to have Roham on tomorrow, as I mentioned, so I'm not going to dive deep on this, but it is very newsworthy, and you might want to get started today on some of this, because I think exciting stuff coming out of Flow blockchain. I've got it pulled up here on video. Roham opens it up with, "We fucked up. We built apps with the world's most loved brands, protocols with millions of users onboarded and billions in volume. I was one of them. I'm here today because of Top Shot, which is on not only on Flow, it was launched by the Flow team. But our mistake was simple. Not enough of the value flowed to the believers who made it possible." I'm still waiting for that dump truck of Flow. I'm quoting here, a dump truck of Flow tokens to go to those Top Shot users. I'm old enough to remember that. We're fixing that now. I'm kidding, but not really. I would take a dump truck of Flow tokens. Not only have we started updating our economics of our core products, we're also building a new slate of products and protocols with value creation at their core. The moment we need is finally here. 300 billion in stablecoins, 30 billion in tokenized real-world assets, trillions more on the way. The infrastructure and liquidity exist. What doesn't are the right products. DeFi today is hostile. It demands technical mastery just to survive. Slippage, MEV, liquidation cascades, the list goes on. Every interface is built by experts for experts. Everyone else is forced to stay on the sidelines or play in a game that you don't have edge. The gap is, that's the gap we're filling. We've proven we can bring the benefits of crypto to mainstream users without asking them to become technical experts first. I would agree. We've proven we can make complex technology feel simple. Now we're applying it to the biggest market, money. Dapper Labs and Flow Blockchain are democratizing consumer DeFi. Three big moves. First, new open source protocol being developed by Flow Foundation, Flow Credit Markets, FCM, a lending protocol that protects you instead of punishing you. Traditional DeFi lending is punishing. It waits until you're underwater, then liquidates you and charges a penalty. FCM is active. It uses native on-chain automation on Flow to monitor every position continuously and rebalance automatically before the position is at risk of liquidation. So far, backtesting against every major crash since 2020 see a 100% survival rate and a 99.9% cost reduction versus leading lending protocols on other networks. That's pretty insane, taking it at face value. Second is a product built on top of the foundation of FCM, Peak Money, the finance app for a generation that has stopped believing in banks. Our generation watched the traditional path to wealth become mathematically out of reach, so we stopped playing by the old rules, turned investing into a culture, bet on elections like sports, traded athletes like stocks, turned every opinion into a market. Peak Money is built to level the playing field, to give everyone access to the same opportunities available to crypto experts, and soon, with the tokenization of the entire global finance markets, those used by hedge funds and billionaires too. Banks make money from you. Peak makes money for you. The product starts simple: deposit cash or crypto, earn more than a bank will pay you, earn and spend without selling, no minimums, no gatekeepers, no seed phrases, no liquidation fear. Watch this space, Peak Money. Go give that one a follow. Last but not least, Flow Tokenomics. Liquidity moves freely between chains. The apps people use every day don't. We believe the most valuable cryptocurrency will be the native token of the network powering products people can't live without. For that to happen, the native token must align with people who build with the people who believe. For years, Flow subsidized growth with near zero fees. That made sense when the priority was experimentation. Now the priority is economic alignment. Dapper Labs supports FLIP 351, proposed by Flow Foundation, updating transaction fees on Flow to dramatically reduce token inflation and ultimately become deflationary at just 250 transactions per second, all while remaining the lowest cost network compared to its peers. Every transaction burns tokens. Network actively creates scarcity. Scarcity compounds value. Believers benefit. Infrastructure plus application plus economics aligned at last. I've not had a chance to check any of this out. What is described is a game changer, in my opinion. DeFi is complicated. For those who've been around for the last 6 to 12 months, you saw Steve go on a DeFi journey and learned a lot and taught a lot of people here. It's still complicated. Providing liquidity is not for the everyday layman. It's extremely risky. Perps are risky. You're going to get liquidated. It's like a rite of passage. Eliminating that risk while still, now granted, I'm assuming the upside is likely significantly less. Most people aren't chasing 1000x returns. They just want their money to work for them. And I think in the age of AI and the where we're heading, I think it's a really big step for consumer DeFi. And again, we need to see it live in action. I don't view this as like buzzwords. I'm reading this as like real material, meaningful dApps that could quite literally change the game for a lot of people. Now, is this going to make sense to someone who's already a DeFi guru? Probably not. Maybe it's one of the areas they have some money and just let it, they have a bucket that is on autopilot for them. But I think for a lot of people here that aren't deep in the DeFi trenches, and especially anyone who's not here yet, this could be a big deal. And you can't talk about blockchains that have landed and worked with big brands without including Flow. From the NBA with Top Shot to Ticketmaster and everything in between, Disney, like they've worked with some of the largest brands in the world that have massive consumer bases many of us, if you go back to 2021, we talk about what's the next catalyst, what's going to bring in the net new user. I don't think it's going to be trading perps on Hyperliquid. I enjoy it. I just don't think it's going to bring in net new users. Top Shot brought me here, brought a lot of people here. I think it's and by the way, giving Flow credit for their tech, like they were first to the social sign-on. They were way ahead of Privy on that. My first crypto wallet was set up with my Gmail account on Flow or on Top Shot. This was in 2021, January 2021. Like they've been building for consumer at scale from the jump. But they're owning when they said they screwed up. Yeah, they kind of dropped the ball on that value accrual. I believe there's an alternate outcome here where they did back up the dump truck full of Flow tokens, and they really started investing in the ecosystem, the builders, their active participants, and had those incentives and those rewards. Like, I'm not just saying this, but compare Flow and everything you can do on Flow now to something like Monad. It reminds me, I need to go play my bro.fun run of the day because it's the only thing I'm doing on Monad, and I guess I'll farm it for a little bit. Not excited about it. There's just nothing there. And this is a blockchain that raised $500 million and was a highly anticipated launch, and they don't have any of this. Flow is arguably just as performant. I'm not getting into a technical conversation. I'm saying for what I've done on the blockchains, they're both snappy, quick, and low cost. They have far more dApps and major brands. Like they're just, it's easy to forget about the older, the Flows, the Polygons of the world. It's easy to forget about them because they're not new. They're not the new shiny toy, but there's a reason they're still here. And when they make changes like this, I think it's a really, really big deal. Let's get Oxy in here and then we'll go back to Joey. Oxy, GM, sir.
GM. Yeah, as a DeFi guy, I can understand and respect how complex a lot of these concepts are for people coming into the space and trying to, make their money compound and make something more out of what they have. So like products like this, I love. And if they can do it right, make it easy, onboard the users, I think that's massive. We talked about it yesterday where like, the flow is someone comes in, they're like, okay, my if I have a high interest savings account, it's like less than 4%. Anything else is like less than 1% or whatever. Like I need more than that. Inflation's just, outpacing my savings. I need something like a 6% or whatever to drop it into a vault. The vault does DeFi activity, and then it just flows into, crypto native ecosystems. And that makes a lot of sense to me. So I really hope, I hope they can kind of figure it out and incentivize people to come in. Something that I would, implore these products and projects to look into is the idea of some kind of insurance. So like we looked at Aave, maybe it was last week or 2 weeks ago, and they're talking about how they found out a way to insure people's deposits up to a certain, certain cap to where it's like, okay, look, your money's safe here and you can feel confident that like you're going to be able to pull your money out when you need to. I think crypto already has a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths to where they're like, what, I don't trust this. I'm not going to put my money anywhere near it. I don't care what the return is. Like the risk reward just isn't there for me. So I think like clearly there's ways to like, kind of fix this gap. And I would just implore teams that have big reaches, have big connections to like look into ways to make this feel more comfortable for people. Otherwise, it's going to be really, really hard to onboard these people. So, that's just kind of some feedback that I've got. But, and then also one thing that he said in that post that I was like, I don't know. It's like, kind of like prove it. And obviously he's not saying, he's like, obviously he's insinuating like, just wait and see what we can do. Back testing against, 1010 or what have you is a very weird thing to do looking at it from a hindsight perspective. Like I've been approached on a lot of products. They're like, oh, look, I've got this automated trading bot. Look how like over the last 5 years, look how it performed. It's like, well, yeah, no shit. You just built it. And then I looked back and in theory, this is what the bot would have done in that situation. Like, it's easy for people to like look back and be like, oh, look, we tested this against these situations. This what the bot with the agent or the bot or the automation would have done. It's also like, I don't know, I need to see real world situations where it's actually running and it's actually performing before I feel super confident in anything someone says there. So maybe just like a little something that kind of like rubbed me like, okay, all right, dude, but yeah, back testing, I understand the concept of it, but also at the same time, it's like, I'm not gonna put any face value on that. But that's just my 2 cents.
Hindsight's 2020, right? Yeah, a bot should be able to avoid, but I understand. I don't know. I've never done that, and I also understand the why behind it, right? It makes sense, and they probably should be doing that back testing. Dude Lifts in chat adds, Dapper's definitely not unaware of consumer protections, just haven't revealed too much yet. Interesting. Will likely be more protected than fintech. Very interesting. We'll ask the team tomorrow. I do think that, the idea of like, oh, bank accounts FDIC insured. We don't think much about it. Like, it's not like, oh, I'm thank goodness my checking account has got $250,000 of insurance behind it in case anything ever happens. I don't expect anything to ever happen. But to your point, people don't trust crypto in a similar protection. Hopefully it's never needed to be used or tapped into. I think could instill some confidence. And I also like adjacently related, I saw MetaMask, I think, turned on an insurance, like up to $10,000 per transaction protection you can opt into. I'm sure there's a fee to it. Did anyone see this? I'll see if I can pull up the post on it. I'm pretty sure maybe just yesterday I saw this, but Joey, go ahead and get in here, and I will, in the meantime, I'll see if I can find, by the way, if you're eligible to go mint your FWOGs, probably do that now. You've got the treasury started, the guarantee phase is open now. First come, first serves. You got 24 hours, I guess. So guaranteed phase is now. You've got a day. Don't miss this. It's limit 1 per wallet. It just opened at 9 o'clock, 13 minutes ago, and already basically it's more than half minute out. 2960 of the 5,555 supply is minted. If you're in this guaranteed phase, definitely go get your FWOG. First come, first serve starts tomorrow at 9. And then public stage, which it probably doesn't make, is December 11th. But yeah, these things are already, floor is already 0.215, already 11 ETH of volume. I want to go buy an NFT. I said I wasn't buying any NFTs. This I think is going to cook. I'm kicking myself. I saw this. I even thought about going and buying the blind boxes. Same reason I bought the Moonbird boxes, and I didn't. And this is likely going to be a much better flip than any burb I'm going to get for that Moonbird. Also, on that note, one more quick reminder. This is probably alpha. Door ads. Feels like burb, this is speculation, but feels like burb may only be rewarded for redeemers. Probably right. Probably need to redeem, or maybe there's a multiplier, maybe there's a bump, but you probably need to redeem that thing to get your burb allocation. These FWOGs, though, again 0.21 floor already. It's going to have good distribution, I think, because of how the thing, 1 per wallet, etc. And I also agree. I think the rares are going to cook on these. I think they.
I thought that you could get 2 per wallet if you got the ultimate pack, if I wasn't mistaken. So I wonder if they changed that, because you were supposed to get 2 mints if you bought the ultimate pack.
I don't know. I'm just going off their mint page. Says one per wallet. Either way, I think this is going to be a cook, and I do think the rares are going to go for quite a bit of premium. So congratulations, everyone who got in on that. GG's. And Joey, go ahead and get back in here.
Yeah. So as somebody who has a company on Flow, the Flow has always been, and one of the reasons why we went to Flow has always been on the cutting edge of blockchains. Everything they do, everything they build, they are the first consumer chain. They consistently build for the consumer. Flow's biggest problem is they don't have a Steve. Like that's the thing with Flow. It's like They need the tech, the team, the behind the scenes people are amazing. They just are not the best when it comes to their marketing and comms, which is why people forget that Disney Pinnacle is on Flow, why Top Shot is still flourishing on Flow, why La Liga, Ticketmaster, right? Like, there's so many huge companies that utilize Flow, but it just gets passed over, forgotten, because they're just they're not the they're not the best when it comes to marketing and communication. Hopefully, that'll be something that they look at. And this is not because I'm not here to, I'm here to support them, obviously, because we're on Flow. But that's probably their. If we had to point at one reason why people don't give Flow as much credit as they deserve, that's simply it. I mean, when you look at the roster, if you go to Flow's website right now, Cap, you share your screen and you show the brands that are UFC is on Flow. Did anybody know that UFC is on Flow? I mean, there's so many huge brands that utilize Flow. It's kind of crazy that they don't get talked about as the quote unquote consumer blockchain the way Abstract is or whoever else. And all of those blockchains are lagging way behind what Flow has done and is doing. And then regarding the new announcement, I know a lot of people aren't a big fan of Andrew Tate, but I stumbled across like an Andrew Tate interview from the previous week where he mentioned how the reason why they want us to move to a digital, debit cards and credit cards, is whatever, is because, bank fees and processing fees. And so the more money you spend, as you spend money using debit cards and credit cards, the businesses make less money because they're taking percentages, so on and so on, versus cash. Well, consumer blockchains like Flow solve that problem. It's more akin to spending, the full amount of, the business making $30 when you spend $30 than what it is right now, where they've got to, they're losing money for credit card processing fees and bank processing fees. So they have to charge you more to cover those fees. So I think this move by Flow into this consumer DeFi consumer spending is a big plus for taking on the credit cards and processing fees and things like that we see every day in Web 2.
I agree. And I know they're big into the RWA arena as well. Case in point, BZ. This I'm just seeing, talking about this Flow credit market. One of the first things on their homepage here is home equity line of credits, automated credit lines for real world assets. This is could be a huge unlock for. It's not going to happen overnight, right? At first, people are going to use this. They're going to be people, those of us that are here. But as this gets out in the world, these are real consumer applications that could change things. Like the traditional, there's a lot of things about real estate. There's a lot of things about mortgages and home equity line of credits. It's archaic. And this really is this is my first. I wasn't expecting HELOCs on Flow yet. You're talking prediction market. There really is a lot. You talk about those brands here, flashing those briefly. We're going to dive deeper on this more tomorrow. I'm really excited about it. I think it could be a big deal. Also noteworthy, their year-to-date increase up 189% as it relates to TVL. Some big stuff coming out of Flow. More on that tomorrow. If you haven't hit the reminder yet, do so. It's up top. Go smash that thing, and let's get a full house in here for Roham and team. The flogment, we just talked about that. It is seemingly ripping this morning. We will hit on the Ethereum update. That floor, which was 0.2, is now already 0.23 or 0.229.
How did you get? You had to buy the physical.
Yep, had to buy their blind box.
And then if you bought the box, everybody got access, or was it like a
so
raffle?
If you bought a 6-pack box, you were guaranteed 1 mint. If you bought the ultimate box, which was a 12-pack, you were guaranteed 2 mints. If you bought the single box, you were put into a raffle for first come, first serve.
And how much were the 12 boxes?
The 12 boxes were $240, and they quickly went 4x as soon as the sale was over.
But now, if you sold the box, you were still able to mint, or you had to hold the box?
No. You had to hold the box.
So if you spent $250 on the 12 blind boxes, you were able to get 2 mints.
Guaranteed.
And how much what's the FWOG mint price?
It's free.
Free.
Oh, free. So you could have spent $250 on a 12 pack and now be sitting on half an ETH worth of NFTs.
Absolutely. But right now, if you look at it, what the blind boxes, what the ultimate boxes we're going for is roughly about what 2 of these are going for. So we're going for roughly 12 to 1500. So right now, 2 FWOGs is roughly 12 to 1500.
But so you could have taken your money in the beginning by selling the ultimate pack, or you could have gambled on, do I work into a rare? Does the floor price keep going up, etc.? But at this point, you're still the same on either one.
I think these are going to stay above this mark right now as far as the floor goes. I think if it dips a little low, it'll by reveal time maybe, but I think once they cook, it's probably going to stick around this price.
It's a pretty smart mechanism, right? Like buy our physicals to then be able to mint our digitals.
It's honestly the smartest mechanism I've seen recently, Joey, because we were all expecting some type of whitelist allocation, for them to go outreach. But when they dropped the physicals first, a couple of us asked ourselves like, yo, I thought a mint was coming up. And, but that's all we thought. And then they closed down the collectibles and they said, yo, by the way, if you got the 6-pack or the 12-pack, you're getting to mint. And that kind of flips the game on its head, because there's an incentive for actually going and getting these physicals, because a lot of us want the NFT. I don't necessarily collect anything physical, to be honest with you guys. The most physical stuff I've collected in the past few years is stuff from the Bored Ape Yacht Club, and that's it. Other than that, I'm not collecting physical goods.
I'm a fan of the model. I also, I don't know. I'm probably not an NFT buyer here unless I want to take a shot at revealing a rare. I feel like and I felt like it's wrong. I just thought I missed it. I missed the blind box. I thought these NFTs would cook. I just didn't feel like chasing it. And I don't know how much upside on the floor is here, right? I wouldn't be surprised if some of these rares go for well north of an ETH and then the floor settles at 0.1. I really don't know. But are
there royalties?
I assume so, yeah. I think everything.
Yeah, so you bought here, it'd have to go to for it to be worth it for you. If you bought here with royalties, depending on what they are, it'd have to go north of 0.3 to 0.35 for you to make a couple $100.
Yeah, I'm probably not a buyer here, but where I am a buyer is I think FWOG is back in play as a trade. The token, it's only a $13 million market cap. This is never financial advice. Just don't do what I say. But from a pure trade standpoint, it is $13 million market cap, up 7% on the day.
It could easily 2x from here.
Yeah, and if this thing really takes off, if it really hits, if the NFTs pop, there's a lot of volume. If it actually runs post reveal and the rares go for premiums, like I think, it's hard for me to think people aren't going to look for a beta to the NFT. And to me, the most obvious one probably is FWOG. I'm trying to find
Is the token strictly just like a meme coin, or is there something to the ecosystem?
What would it look like if there was a strategy?
I don't know if I don't know how I'd feel about them doing a separate token, a strategy token, but if they were to do some sort of strategy S type thing with their existing token in this, I mean, its all-time high was about a year ago at 720 million.
Yeah, 720 million. That thing ran. It had a lot of people pushing it too from the early on. It launched on Pump Fun.
720 million, ran up to nearly $1 billion. It's right now 14 million, way down. But they still have motion. They still have attention. Obviously, the NFTs are a hit. So yeah, I think that, is there anywhere, it's not on Hyperliquid. Does anyone know, can you long FWOG anywhere? Is it on any of the perp dexes? I'd be curious. I do want to keep moving though. So we only got 35 minutes due to the technical issues with X Day. By the way, if you're just jumping in, if you can happen to hear us and we're cutting in and out, head over to YouTube or Abstract. We're going to power through the audio issues today, but it is what it is. And I will more on Flow tomorrow, probably more on Flog tomorrow as well. Some of the other topics I want to hit on before we get out of here. I'm gonna, speaking of mints, let's do that. Let's hit on the Jack Butcher mint. Probably gonna not even. I'll pin up top Paul Atkins bull talk on Squawk Box, but between Paul Atkins and new Fed chair, it's just like the macro stuff continues. Just more tailwinds for crypto and a bullish 2026. But since we're talking mints, let's quickly pivot over to Jack Butcher. I'll show that. If there is anyone technical, Oxy, I don't know how deep you are in this Fusaka upgrade. I can read the bullet points and what it's supposed to do. It's just not my area of expertise, but there's probably some connections area. You talk about EVM chains and what this new update can unlock. Biggest
Hey, Cap.
Yes, sir.
Before you pivot, Flo is actually in the room. If you wanted to get get some more insight on that, I think the Flo account is actually here.
Yeah, they are. If they can hear us, I appreciate you being out there. They're more than welcome to jump up, but I think plans are to go into a deeper dive tomorrow. Welcome to join the conversation if you'd like, but no pressure obligation. We'll be running it back and going deep on all things Flow tomorrow morning with the Flow blockchain team and leadership. Really looking forward to that. I am truly excited about these moves. I think it's some major moves, and
awesome sauce.
Yeah, no, Noah in the chat says Flow is definitely the least clunky blockchain there is. Have you used Top Shot? Phonics says, yeah, back in 2021. I get all that. I think they're also owning, hey, there were some missteps or effed up, and we're making some changes to that. And the fact that they're owning the maybe the alignment with the builder, the community, the supporters, and going back to that and looking to make the course correct. It's not like they've just stopped building. It's not like they're a ghost chain. I mean, there's TVL's up, brands are up. Like there is a lot going on, and I can respect it's not been maybe the trading platform of choice, but I think it's in a very different spot than it was in 2020, 2021, and I'm excited for this next chapter. I think they've got a lot more going for it than some of the new stuff, some of the new cutting edge blockchains like Monad, for instance. I'm not trying to make this PvP, but give me Flow and everything they have going for them over Monad 10 times out of 10. I don't care if there's a farm on Monad. There's just nothing to do there. And I don't see how they, with the dApps they launched with, I just don't see how they even make it a going concern at this point. Some semi-breaking news: SEC halting high leverage ETF plans and warning about over risks that may come back to impact some of the crypto ETFs or prevent them going to market maybe. But I do, in all seriousness, let's talk about Jack Butcher for a second, because this is another why I didn't think wasn't planning on having NFT mints on my agenda in December of 2025. Here we are. This is currently happening live. I think it's just calling it receipts. Pay what you want. The receipt is your artwork. Payment amount equals receipt length. Live display tracks whether the artist recoups $74,211 in production costs or takes a public L. I know Spaces is glitching, but that's where I'll pin the Jack Butcher post here in a second if you want to go check it out. It's called self-checkout, excuse me. Pay what you want at Art Basel. Your receipt is the artwork. Payment amount equals the receipt length. There's this live display on the... you have to do this in person. I missed this.
I might be interested in doing that.
I missed this when I first. So yeah, you gotta select them out, add an optional tip, payment clears, split, flap advances, receipt prints, inch count, lock to spend, seed phrase, transfers ownership of immutable record, and yeah. So this is it's pretty cool. It's a live exhibit. 74,000 in personal capital went into the installation. Unlimited supply. The business model is the artwork. No galleries, no intermediaries. I like the experiment. Soulbound NFTs permit trading. That kind of bums me out. So I guess I'm just trying to understand. So I guess I'll probably mint one to say I did, but I'm not a fan of the Soulbound token. I'm just not. Like, give us a chance to make some money on this stuff. Unless I'm missing something. Yeah. I'm curious if you're in Art Basel, if you're minting this, let me know. If you mint it, let me know. I'm feeling they'll probably they'll probably cover their cost. It's an Art Basel 010 booth. That was part of the fee. The Art Basel 010 is the first actual digital art exhibit at Art Basel. You can kind of get a glimpse of, I'm guessing that this is like what the exhibit looks like. So it's cool. Click get in line. We'll see. I'm gonna go check it out. I'm heading down there probably tomorrow. I was considering going today, but since we got a special guest joining us tomorrow, I'm probably gonna stick at home with the with the audio equipment, and we'll power through spaces if it fails us. But yeah, we will most likely. I'm heading down tomorrow after coffee, and we'll have a full day, half a day there Thursday. Stick around Friday morning, and then head back. We may do audio only on Friday.
Yo, coffee with Captain from Board Cuban on Friday.
Maybe I don't want to overcommit, especially with the audio glitches, but I will potentially. It's a potential. Probably not. Just too much going on this week to commit, and probably not. Would be fun. I'll be swinging by Board Cuban and at least grabbing some food or a colada, but probably not going to try to pull off a live show this time. But other news items, let me know if anyone's hitting that Jack Butcher mint. The couple other high level flyovers, and if we're missing anything, is there anything anyone has any questions on anything we discuss? Throw that in the chat. Let us know. Apologies again for the audio issues. If you're getting the in and out audio, head over to YouTube or Abstract. We should be in the clear over there. The big news coming out of Rekt. Speaking of trades, I wish I would have made instead of just talking about them. Should have been buying this dip hard. I bought some dips, just did not buy the last dip of Rekt. They just announced their partnership with Superior Beverage Group, newest distribution partner. It's a major leap forward. They are a powerhouse. I can confirm. I'm from the Midwest, and SBG is distributing most of the retailers in the Midwest. You can see some of the manufacturers they distribute today: Coors, Gallo, Constellation Brands, Pabst, Boston Beer, Heineken, Great Lakes Brewing, to name a few. They were founded in 1922, stewarded through 5 generations. They bring over a century of experience, proven excellence, and deep distribution infrastructure to the table. Legacy is working with tier 1 brands and proven track record of pushing product adoption gives Rekt drinks a runway to scale fast and efficiently. This partnership will mean significantly expanded shelf presence and exposure for Rekt drinks, increasing potential demand, brand legitimacy, and long-term growth of the Rekt ecosystem. Big win. Access to over 13,000 retailers is no joke. And excited for the Rekt team. As I've shared before, full disclosure, I hold a little bit of equity in Rekt drinks. I hold some Rekt token and Rekt guy. It's not life-changing money. It's not about my bags. It is, I think you talk about catalysts, what could be onboarding mechanisms. I do think it's things like what Flow is doing with their consumer approach to DeFi, and these brands with brand coins getting out there in the wild and growing their distribution and having success. I think, hold on. You mind, you got a hot mic. You mind muting until I finish this thought? We'll see some massive success stories coming out of crypto. We'll see some crypto native brands that achieve mainstream success beyond infrastructure, beyond blockchains, beyond financial dApps. I do think consumer DeFi is one that could be a big mechanism to onboard another wave of net new users, active participants. I also think there's this big opportunity for on-chain builders and crypto native builders. It's just going to take some massive success. It's going to take some unicorns to come out of this space that aren't just crypto infrastructure. No offense to the blockchains that are having success and raising tons of money, or the hyperliquids of the world, or the pumped up funds of the world, or the OpenSeas, but that's not going to attract your average entrepreneur who doesn't necessarily, whether they have a bad impression of crypto or negative impression of crypto or no impression of crypto. I think the people who wanted to build on chain or wanted to tap into this crypto industry and environment and ecosystem and active users, I think most of them, for most intents and purposes, are here. the ones who aren't here, there's something that's kept them, whether it's their perception or they had a bad experience or maybe they came and left. I think that there's a lot of there's a lot of entrepreneurs, a lot of startups. I do believe that blockchain tech and the distribution that is here could level up a lot of them. I just think it's going to take some big wins. I see William out there. It could be something like what Amazon gaming is doing with other side. Like it's going to think things that we don't necessarily have today. And I truly think it's crypto native brands breaking out into mainstream. And not only would that onboard new active users, new active participants like Amazon gaming and other side is today. I think this next wave will bring in the builders. You see a Rekt Brands. Let's just play it out. The Rekt Brands does become one of the next liquid death. And you see it everywhere. And they get huge valuations. I'm truly more excited than whatever my small equity stake in Rekt Drinks would bring me. I'm much more excited what catalyst that might be for the next wave of crypto builders, next wave of on-chain builders, because for every on-chain builder, they're going to bring with them active users, active participants, supporters. I think this is a really big deal, and big congrats to the Rekt team. Pretty stoked about that. And really, speaking of things that could onboard users, segueing right into another major announcement that we think it's like, I saw, actually, I'm not going to shot at him. I'm not. Please don't interpret this that way. I'm a fan of Whale. I like Whale, but he said, man, it's such a boring day, nothing going on. It's like, we're spoiled here. Like, there's a ton of stuff going on right now. This just in the last 24 hours, a lot of major announcements, but because it doesn't send the floor up 20, 30, 40%, we don't talk about it like it's a big deal. Pudgy Penguins partnering with the NHL for their Winter Classic from December to January, starting this week at Art Basel. This is a big deal. I don't care if you're an NHL fan. This is a big deal. And is this going to directly pump the Pudgy Penguins floor or the Pingu floor? Not directly. But you talk about proliferation, you talk about brand awareness, you talk about fun things. Like these activations bringing Pingu into the world of NHL, like I say, it's not going to pump the token price. And I'd stand corrected, as it actually is pumped 10% in the last 24 hours following this announcement. It's back up over $1 billion FDV, 723 circulating market cap. I think it's a big deal. And I think that there's, I don't know how to, the words aren't coming to, but I do think there is, the active participants here, need to do a better job celebrating wins that's not just tied to number go up or floor price. Like, this is a big win. Like, partnering with the NHL is no small task, and their Winter Classic's kind of a big deal. So I'm excited for this. I just shared earlier today, I got like 500 of Pingu left. So it's not a bag bias really at all. Like, I'm not, I guess there's some, but it's really not. I'm rooting for the Pingu team. I think the other thing with these wins, we need more wins coming out of crypto. We need crypto native brands winning. Back to my earlier point of onboarding the next wave of builders, whether it's a Rekt success story, or it's Flowed consumer DeFi, or it's Pudgy Penguins in NHL. I got my friend, my in real life friend group chat is mostly people that still live in Ohio, and they had a snow day this week. Not making this up. The morning post I got yesterday was a Pudgy Penguin GIF that said snow day. It's like they've done a really phenomenal job on getting the gifts out there. And I know it's like not anything new, but each of these are they're small wins, and we are seeing a consumer brand being built in real time. It takes decades for these things to really catch on, and that's it. Oxy, go ahead and get in here, and just wanted to call attention to this. I think the NHL news is a big deal. Go ahead.
Yeah, no, I agree. Kind of going back to something Joey said earlier about just marketing and not having a Steve. I think it's just an inherent issue that crypto and Web3 seem to have, where the marketing just doesn't translate somehow. Like, if you think about like he was talking about flow, and like how, just like proliferating all the different brands that they work with and how big that is. The same thing happened with like Polygon back in the day.
Yep.
They partnered with everyone on the planet, and like no one knew. Like Reddit was on there. They've got billions of users, and no one knew about like that. The Reddit avatars were on Polygon.
Yep.
Like there's just some kind of issue or some kind of misalignment or mismessaging on like, okay, this partnership, what does it mean for us? And then like continuing to hit on that and how that translates into something bigger than what it looks like at face value or what have you. I don't know, like you were talking about with Pudgy, like I to be honest, I would have liked Pudgy to like maybe push like, okay, what's this mean for the NHL? Like what kind of viewership are we going to be getting? What does that mean for us? Because like, to be honest, like people are dumb, man. Like they're not going to read between the lines or be like, oh, this is going to be in front of millions and millions of viewers, and then so on and so forth. Like I think Rekt does a really good job at that, like really kind of dumbing it down, so to speak. Like, okay, this is what this really means for us.
I agree wholeheartedly. And I think part of that is it's not his title, but they have an incredible comms person. Obi's one of the best in the game at this. He just so happens to also be the CEO and the founder. He's been hosting spaces and streams, maybe not every day, but been doing it as long as I have. Like he's in the trenches. He's in the crypto weeds. Maybe he's not as much of an active trader today because he's building a business that's scaling at a rapid clip. But he is a comms person. He may not consider himself that, but he's a great communicator, and they do a really good job with it. Like I'm in the Rekt Discord, but I don't get in there regularly. Every once in a while I'll see an announcement or something. That community that's about as locked in as you get. It's one of the most engaged communities on this app. Anytime I reference anything Rekt, I get retweets and quotes and it's not AI slop. It's real people who are passionate. And I think part of it is because they feel so connected because of the communication. And here's my bold take. I said this yesterday in the war room. I don't know if you saw it. I'm not saying this because he's my friend. I truly believe this. And the more I think about it, every day that goes by, I'm more convinced that this is actually going to happen. I think our friend Steve, while again, he's irreplaceable. I miss him on Coffee with Captain. It's not like he's left. It's not like he's not my friend anymore. We were texting this morning. I just don't get to have a 2-hour conversation with him over coffee every day anymore. But he's going on to bigger and better things. And he's making a tremendous impact, not just at OpenSea. My bold take, I think Steve and OpenSea hiring Steve and actually finally having a leading brand, a leading crypto native protocol, investing in a communications expert, someone that has extensive experience in communications and PR, and is not only the credentials and the resume and the experience in the corporate world and done this for very large billion-dollar organizations, but also has the deep understanding of the crypto culture. There's not many of those people. I get it's hard. It's hard to identify those people. We're here. We do exist. I think my bold take is that Steve and OpenSea's decision to bring Steve on board in a leadership capacity to lead their comms, I think it's going to lead to the next crypto hiring meta. I think we're going to see a massive shift. I'm not saying that the interns and the shit posters are going to go away. They'll still have their space. But I think you're going to start seeing these leading crypto native brands finally realize a lot of them keep stubbing their toe on junior varsity level communications, if any at all, or their communication strategy is they just let their founder say whatever, or they've hired a shit posting intern that can get a lot of impressions on X, but they have no background in communications and marketing. Like that's okay to have a role, but to go spend $250,000 for a shit posting intern and not have a professional comms person on your team, you're missing it, man. Like, I don't know what else to say. We've been saying this for years on this show, how important communications and PR are for crypto native companies, and how so often when they have their missteps or they hit road bumps or they have a big win and no one talks about it. I think that the easiest dot to connect is they don't have these professionals on their team. They'll view their C-suite, and while not even every large corporation I work for, like even the mid-size ones. Like it's important everywhere except for crypto, seemingly. And for whatever reason, it's always been downplayed. I think it's changing. It's not just because of Steve. Can't make this up. I had this thought. I'm thinking this, and then like clockwork, Jesse comes out. We're hiring someone to lead comms at Base. This is a pivotal role, working directly with me in our mission to build a global economy that works for everyone. You'll be our bridge to CT and press, drive major events, tell stories that move Base forward. Apply below. Senior Manager, Product Communications. It's awesome. Now, if it was working directly with Kobe, I'd apply for this role. I just don't want to work with Jesse. No offense. It's just not, we're different people. Our styles are very different. I don't know if I could, it's just not.
Growth gap. We got to have growth. You know what I'm saying? No, I honestly, I miss Steve. You know what I'm saying? Like, I think that, but when you look at what's actually happening, like right before our eyes and stuff like that, like it's a beautiful thing. And I'm kind of happy to see it. I'm kind of like, I've seen a lot of the brands recently, like reach out to the community and hire from crypto Twitter and stuff like that. So I'm watching it happen in real time before my eyes.
Yes and no. I think that's also been part of the problem is too much hiring from within the community. It's great to look in your community, but from my perception, what I've seen in this space, and it's not even one company, a lot of them have done this, is they hire passionate people from within the community who simply are not qualified. They hire a shitposting intern that can get impressions on X, but they love the community, and so we're gonna hire this person from community, and then they give them a role of something like this, where look at this, look what they're asking for. 8+ years in public relations, communications, and related roles with focus on technology, blockchain, and fintech. Proven track record securing coverage in top-tier publications, Bloomberg, CNC, TechCrunch, and crypto native outlets. Crypto expertise, like the people they're hiring from the community most often don't have this type of experience, don't have this type of track record. And so I think, yes, you should hire, like having the crypto native experience is important. Having the understanding of blockchain and fintech, all that's important. I think that's probably more important than it's someone that's deep in the community. Ideally, you have both, but I think what I've seen is too often they go for the community route as opposed to the or it's completely the other end of the spectrum, and they hire someone that checks all these boxes from they've got the experience, they've got the credentials, they've got the resume, but they've never done a transaction on chain. We've seen two extremes as opposed to, and this isn't like, oh, look at us. It's just reality. I'm older than most people here. Steve's older than most people here. We both have backgrounds leading extremely large billion-dollar or multi-million-dollar, multinational brands, whether it's corporate America or franchising world. Like, we have that lived experience for 2 decades in addition to being here. And I'm not better than anyone here. Steve's not claiming he's better than anyone here. We just have experiences that a lot of people that are here haven't lived yet. And you do learn things in that environment. You do, like, I'll never forget the first time I was on Fox Business. It was a segment called Creating a Successful Franchise. The whole thing was like a half-hour long. I mean, I was sweating. Like, they put makeup on you, you get in those bright lights. Like, it's awkward. I'm someone I've spoken for a living my entire life, whether I was creating content or hosting shows or not. Like, when I was building my own business or leading a multinational franchise brand, my primary role was internal and external communications, whether external and PR or a new franchise location opening up, or leading a national network call with all of our franchisees, like leading like that was a core part of what a lot of us have done. And I think a lot of people, and again, this isn't like, please don't take this as like, oh, we're better than other people, or this is not an arrogant take. It is what it is. And having those lived experiences is very different than the lived experience I have for hosting 1,044 Twitter spaces. Both are important. They're not the same skills. Steve has forgotten more about corporate PR and crisis issue management than I'll ever know. But I also have forgotten more about communicating with the Bloombergs, the Wall Street Journals, the Fox Business than most of your shit posting interns on Twitter. experience. They can learn. I just think that sometimes we go too far into the community approach at the expense of actual real talent and experience. And I think, like, to wind it all up, and Oxy will go right back to you, I do think that Steve and OpenSea very well may be like the thing that finally got people to, okay, this is important. This is a pivotal role. Like, I'm not knocking Coinbase. I'm not knocking Jesse. They're finally admitting this is a pivotal role. Yet, we're how long into base and they're just now realizing this? And maybe to give them some grace and Jesse, that's been Jesse's role up to this point. Now he's going to expand his rings. They've grown to a size. He needs some, a senior manager that can take on this exclusively. It's not lost on me that base it, just start, talking about some of the new stuff up and coming. I'm not saying it's his role. Part of the reason I'm bullish on Mega ETH is they have someone like Brad, who's a comms person. He may not have the corporate background in communications and PR that Steve has, but he is technical. He understands the technical piece, and he's well-spoken. He's been creating content in this space for a while. I don't view Brad as a shitposting intern by any stretch of the imagination. And I think as we move forward, as the space matures, I do believe we're going to see more and more of this, and I think it could happen quickly. I think this could be, Steve very well could have started the waterfall effect of people realizing that, OpenSea went from largely a laughingstock of the crypto natives pre-Adam Hollander and that crew, since they brought Adam on board, someone who had the corporate experience, had successful exits, built real businesses, deep in the trenches. And then they did the same thing with Chris and the former Florac team or the Rally team. They've been hiring professionals, not just shitposting interns. If you're a shitposting intern, if you're a clipper, keep doing your thing. That's also valuable to this ecosystem. It's also important. It's also a great way to get paid. It's also a great way to have a come up in this space. But when we're talking about billion-dollar enterprises, for them to prioritize a shitposting intern over a professional person to lead communications and PR, you need to get your head examined. I'm sorry. And I think finally it's starting to happen. That's my hot takes. I think Steve and OpenSea are going to start this, not the shitposting intern trend or the meta, but I think we're going to start seeing a lot more teams and large protocols understand the importance of having a professional comms person on their leadership team. Oxy, go ahead. Thoughts on this?
Yeah, thanks. So I want to recognize how hard it is for companies and I guess just companies to find people that are crypto native these days. I understand how complex it is to find someone who really understands crypto, the ecosystem, how blockchains work. I'm trying to hire, I'm trying to hire accountants every day. And I talk to a lot of these kids and no one understands blockchain. They've never transacted one time in their life. You need to know how to read the blockchain. You need to know how to go to an Etherscan. You need to understand what DeFi, how DeFi works and what complex, infrastructure might look like. And that's just you can't find it. It's just really, really hard because of how niche this industry is. So I want to recognize that that's a really hard skill to find. And
I agree.
I can teach anyone how to audit. You know what I mean? I can teach anyone how to do the finance and accounting side of things. It's a lot harder to teach people about crypto, Web3, DeFi, all these other things. So I guess all that said, I guess what a message that I would probably want to give to maybe younger people that are in crypto and Web3 that are going to school right now. I this might be an unk take, so to speak, but I would highly encourage a lot of people to keep go to school, get a degree, upskill yourself in a quote unquote traditional field, because as this ecosystem matures and as crypto matures, it's going to become more and more necessary to have those inherent skills.
Yes.
A CPA right now that's in college, they're grinding through their accounting classes or their finance classes or marketing classes, whatever it might be. like that skill that you're building, and like even if you have to go work in the traditional field for a little while, there are real needs for these professionals in these kind of degrees and these more traditional skills now more than ever as this space matures. So I don't know, it's like a kind of a counter take to what a lot of people preach in this space, but there, like I see it firsthand. There's a lot of people who like, we need people who have these traditional skills, like a marketing, like the marketing experience or the accounting experience or education. And as things progress, as it becomes more mainstream, as services start becoming more traditional, like in the crypto space, you're going to be able to find a job at a lot of these firms or projects or companies that are going to require you to have those, those skills that you're going to develop in the more quote unquote traditional route. So I don't know, just from my side of the table and like kind of tying it into this whole marketing pivot that we're seeing. I don't know. I think that's really important.
I agree. I agree wholeheartedly. And I said earlier, Steve's not better. Like, Steve's not gonna say, "Oh, I'm better than you." He's not better than the shitposting intern that's been in the trenches for the last 3 years and has never worked in corporate America or never done anything from a professional comm standpoint. But Steve has 20 years experience that person doesn't have. That's not a bad thing. It's not a knock on the shitposting intern. You're in an incredible spot. You're probably, I know you're likely making far more money than Steve was when he was at Yakima, Washington, doing his news reporting to get his, to sharpen his teeth back in the day. You're in an incredible spot. And the fact that, to Oxy's point, it's hard to find these people. There's not a lot of them here. So maybe they don't have that experience today, but I think you're in an incredible spot. And as the space matures, though, that I think we'll also see the shitposting interns evolve into a professional comms and marketing person. My point is, though, for the Coinbases, the Bases of the world, the OpenSeas of the world, these billion-dollar blockchains or protocols, they don't have to wait for the intern to cut their teeth and gain that experience. They can hire the experience. And maybe it's not like there's one Steve, but there are other people that have that professional business acumen, professional experience, and have the crypto experience. I know they're somewhat of a unicorn. Even more reason why I feel that these major brands, these leading crypto protocols, why they should get on it now, because there's more crypto brands that need this person than there are those people in the space today. I truly believe this. Go ahead if you want to.
Yeah. Like, it's funny. Like, when I first got into crypto, I fell in love with it, and I was like, I want to work in this space. I want to work in this space. And I was like, damn, if only I was younger. And like, I was auditing manufacturing and distribution companies. It was the most boring stuff in the world to me. And I was like, I want to work in this industry. If only I was younger and I could take a risk like this where I could just like jump in or whatever. And now, like, looking back on it, I'm like, God, thank God I did that, because I audited for 7 years and I built this corporate experience in this, I don't know, professionalism, maybe it is the word I'm looking for, I guess. And now that I built that up, I got that experience, and at the same time, I just studied and I was ingrained in the ecosystem, and I learned as much as I possibly could about crypto, blockchain, the industry, and the ecosystem along the way, to where I was upskilled enough in both the professional side as well as this passion that I had, to where I could bridge them, 5 years down the line or 4 years down the line, and like find that niche that I was hoping for when I first got into it. And like, maybe I'm just trying to say, like, be patient, keep upskilling yourself every chance that you can. But I don't know, it's funny to look back and be like, wow, okay, like, really, maybe I wasn't, I don't know, maybe what I thought was the best move for me, or what I wanted to do, like, wasn't really right at the time, because at the end of the day, it worked out the right way. But I don't know, just funny to look back on, I guess.
Yeah, no, I think, I appreciate you sharing. And I think there's probably a lot of people who maybe today they'd like to apply for this, or they apply for this base role and they get back and they don't get the job, or they're not qualified, or they get some, like, that's okay. Like, you're still in an incredible spot. If you believe in the thesis of blockchain technology and that crypto is going to continue to grow, there's going to be more of a need for this stuff in the future than there is today. And to Oxy's earlier point, there's a lot of communication professionals in the world. There's 500 of them that work for Fortune 500s that are making $250,000 plus a year, likely. There's going to be, some of them might be a good fit in crypto. Most of them are not. I think it's, to your point, like, you could teach people how to audit. I think, what's harder to teach? The experience and how to lead communications and PR for an organization, or the crypto culture? I don't know. Like, a lot of things I'd say, oh, you can teach this. Like, some of it, this is one of those things, I don't know if there's any replacement for experience. I can't just push a button and infuse all the crypto culture knowledge and everything that I've learned here over the last 4 or 5 years. Nor can I do the same thing on proper communications and PR. Like, there's just, some of it takes time, but I think I think we'll see a bigger focus on the professional C-suite, the professional leadership teams, the professional communications and PR. And likely it's probably multiple hats, just like it's not the only thing Steve's going to be doing at OpenSea. I also think you're going to see a lot of these interns today that are good at attention. Like, it's just a very big difference between corporate communications and getting impressions on X. Both are important. It's not the same skill set. It's just not. But I think you're going to see some of those that are really good at the attention getting hone their skills, develop, whether it's the employer they're working with currently, maybe they take some courses or classes on, or pay attention to watch OpenSea's communications. Like, they're not going to be perfect. They'll have missteps, certainly. No one's infallible. I think you would be hard pressed to not identify a stark difference between what you see going forward from OpenSea versus what you saw in, let's say, 21 to 24 from a communication standpoint from that organization. I think as other crypto native brands start to see that evolution, I think they'll finally realize, oh, maybe we should invest in a professional to join our leadership team to do this. 2 other quick topics to let everyone get out of here. Appreciate everyone powering through the audio issues on X today. Hopefully that is solved by tomorrow. Looking forward to our special guest. If you haven't yet, hit that reminder up top for tomorrow's show. We'll get a full house in here, assuming X Spaces is back and working tomorrow. Either way, we'll power through. But the last 2 things I mentioned early, there was the Paul Atkins take. This is the SEC chair. Said the agency has enough authority to advance crypto regulation without waiting for Congress, and plans to unveil an innovation exemption for digital asset projects within a month. There was also a clip from, I mentioned Squawkbox, where he went on CNBC to say the long-awaited innovation exemption will officially roll out in January. It's a major regulatory milestone, paving the way for clearer pathways, compliant growth, broader institutional participation, massive implications for the digital sector, and obviously you get a XRP army there tagging. It's all bullish XRP. It's not just they love leaning into this sort of stuff for whatever reason. And then the other major news, major change today, major announcement that we're going to hit on in closing is this Fusaka upgrade. This goes live today. May be live. I'm trying to see when it actually when it goes live. Here's what's happening though today with this Fusaka upgrade. It's all about scaling. L2 and roll-up devs. See if I can zoom in a little bit here so you can see it. It's just not gonna let me get there. It's the biggest I can go. I got housekeeping here too. So I'm gonna do this quickly. This is pinned up top, I think. Let me double check. You can get your yes, it is up there. Go read it for more details. Basically, roll L2s. It's big for the L2s, big for roll-ups. Some other changes, wallet infrastructure, What a day. What a day on Coffee with Captain.
Oh, give me a unique clean towel.
Yeah, I'm going to go get the door. I'm going to play y'all out. Join us tomorrow. We'll be back at 8 a.m. Eastern time. Hopefully X issues has resolved itself. Appreciate y'all being here. Thanks so much. My buddy Steve would say, hope you all have a wonderful, wonderful Wednesday, everyone.
Thanks for tuning into Coffee with Captain, powered by ApeCoin. We hope you enjoyed the show, and remember, nothing we discussed today is financial advice. Until next time, keep exploring, stay curious, and we'll see you soon. Have a great day.
Welcome to the future.